was
Two enchiladas?
yeah.
When Brian was 2 is when we moved here to Walla Walla, and I was out to lunch. And there was a young lady in her early 20s with Down syndrome having lunch, and she got up and wrote a check to pay for her lunch. And as soon as she did that, I just said, oh, I want that for Brian. So for Brian to get there, he just has to do regular stuff. We have to teach him regular stuff, the mundane, everyday things that you do so that your child can write a check. That was it.
Talking about the basketball and baseball.
In school, Brian was in regular classrooms with assistants because the people he was going to live with and encounter in his community were those people he was in school with. So he met everyone. We talked to everyone. And as he went through school, these different people graduated and went out into school and started doing all the things in the community that are things that Brian involves himself in. They're all out there keeping an eye on him and helping him make decisions and just watching out.
My diplomas.
So his older brothers went, elementary, middle school, high school, off to college. Brian went elementary, middle school, we get to high school, and Brian's already thinking about college. So we're thinking, how do we make college happen? Actually, college was pretty simple to make happen. In our high school, we have Running Start, and a number of his friends went and did the Running Start. And so I said, do we do Running Start for kids with disabilities? And they said, actually, no, of course we hadn't even thought about that. And I said, why not? So the last 2 years that Brian was in high school, he basically did what I call Running Start for kids with disabilities. He took the bus and went out to the community college and took a keyboarding class. He is 60 words a minute, so a keyboarding class and a singing class, and he was in drama. And so that's what he did. And he did Running Start right along with his friends. And so then as he was doing these things, of course, and he's out in his community and he's meeting and socializing with everybody that he knows, a friend said, the police department, she works at the police department, we have a job at the police department, fingerprint cards. So what do you think, would Brian like to do that? So he went down and applied for the job through DVR, and they did had him do an assessment there. He went and he started, and he made $11.46 an hour because he was a data entry clerk, and that's where they start. The other job that he has at the community college is another job that he found on his own because he happened to run into a person out there, and she knew him and knew what his capabilities were, and she just offered him a job in their financial aid, stuffing envelopes and doing clerical. So like my other boys, Brian has gotten his job by being connected to his community in the most mundane way. Simply being out there, meeting people, and asking for things, asking for jobs.
I got to restaurants, Saturday.
Our ultimate goal is to have all of our children move on and live independently. So of course with Brian, as with everything, there's a little extra work to all of that. So one of the things I did is we started, my husband and I, looking early on with the parents that we became friends with that had children with disabilities. Figuring out, and literally this is what you do. Who does my kid get along with? Not only that, who do we get along with? because you're going to have a responsibility in this too. So we found another parent and we said, all right, how are we going to make it so that they can live independently? They both had Medicaid personal care. And we said, well, what kind of supports do they need? Well, basically, these two young men, because we had been risk-taking with them early on and planning for them to move out, they really just needed the amount of support that they'd get from Medicaid personal care. So we basically just said, this is what they need to survive. We're all around. Everybody drops in periodically, and there they are. So we built toward that.
we try and get out and do as much as we can. Shopping, we go do the shopping stuff. We go do like going to games when we can. Baseball games. He lives right up the street, so it's really easy.
I expect that he will work and live and enjoy his community for the rest of his life and be very, very happy doing it.
Guess I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna prepare with me, and I'm gonna like a man.
Isn't that a great story? Doing things differently, help with planning, getting information is so key. We invite you to track along with the Community of Practice and get ongoing information at www.informingfamilies.org, a trusted source of information that you can depend upon.